My vocation story really came to light when Pope John Paul II, St. Pope John Paul II died in 2005. I was always a person that wanted to go out work, so I left school at 16, went to college and started working as a catering assistant. Throughout the time as I was working, I went up the ranks to end up managing several units for Littlewoods and Woolworths and different places. 2009 came and it was the year for priests, and it was really that year I decided to think seriously about my vocation. You know, what is God asking of me? And I spoke to my parish priest, Father Paul Alexander at the time, and then through meetings with him and meetings with other priests and praying over my vocation, I decided to contact yourself, Father Murray, and went on the accompaniment program. It lasted about 2 years. I applied 2010 and was accepted, but asked to wait for a few years and to go back and do a wee bit of study. By that point, I had left school for about 10 years. So getting back to study was one of those things I had to get my head around. And I would have said probably the hardest thing for me would have been studying. But since I've entered seminary, I've been in seminary, just finished second philosophy, the study element has not been as hard as I thought. It's not without its challenge. I'm never going to be a philosopher, but I've enjoyed it. I've took to it almost like a duck to water. And, it's been a great time. A sense of achievement for me, a growth for me. And more importantly, a sense that my vocation's been confirmed so far. I feel that I'm in the right place. I feel this is what God wants me to do. Why on earth be a priest in this day and age? Well, I suppose without being rhetorical, why not? For me, it's a vocation of service. It's to help others. But more importantly, it's a vocation of doing God's will for me. What is God asking out of my life? And I think that's a year of service, time of service, to be there and help support other people in their times of joy, grief, and to help God's people on this earth. Celibacy is always one of the big questions that my friends would ask. I suppose, growing up, I've, like any normal fella, had girlfriends. When I was working, as I said, I was working for 10 years. I had many friends, colleagues who were both male and female. The catering industry is primarily female, so a lot of my friends were female. And I never really had a sense that marriage was something God's will for me at any point. I've enjoyed company with, friends, going to bars for social drink or going out to the movies. And, I'm happy whether I'm around females who I'm friendly with or whether I'm around my mates, going for a football match or going to watch a movie. And I suppose, when people say, is it a struggle? Well, of course it is. Naturally we're human, but at the same time, it's given that more for God. It's saying to God, yes, I believe this is what you want. You've your faith in me, and I'm placing my trust in you. And with God's help, each day will be a success. I suppose my biggest question was always when I originally applied and was postponed, and I understood that it was to get back into an academic setting. But always inside was struggling, why? Why wait? Is this God telling me something different? And it was through the 2 years of wait when my mother took ill and actually had to go into hospital and have an amputation. And it's looking back on that I realised that God's will was for me to be with my mother at that time, that I didn't have a lot of pressure while I was in seminary. And I thank God for that time of discernment. I'm glad that I didn't come in when I was 18 or when I was 24. I'm glad I waited to the right time, God's time for me at 26. You know, that was when God wanted me to follow him. So I did. I came and followed, and I'm following.